Well, well, well. Look who's here. I'm back. Sorry, guys. I've been gone a while. Yeah, lots been going on. Lots to fill you in on. So, welcome to the Black Coffee Podcast.
This is the Black Coffee Podcast.
You may notice I am not using my Blue Yeti microphone. Why? Oh, great question. It's not because it's broken or anything like that. It's actually working great. But it is because I was tagged on a Facebook post by a good friend, Aaron Weinbaum, who also does podcasts, Podcasting Made Simple on YouTube. Check it out. Plug for Aaron. Anyway, so I was tagged by him on Facebook on a post somebody named Alex was posting, and he said that he was giving away free shock mounts for anyone that would be willing to do a review. And I'm like, hey, I'm just starting this whole thing pretty much, and also my podcast is all about getting your podcast started. And what do I not have? A shock mount for my mic. And what happens? It goes, you can hear everything, every ding, every cling, every sound that I make. Anything, every time I move my mouse around on my desk, it picks it up. If you remember back whenever I did the Zing U microphone review, it came with, which I still have it. I never sent it back. That's okay. But it came with a shock mount. And it was the rubber band things. And I messed with it for a while trying to take it all apart. And I was going to try and make it work for this. I couldn't do it. But I really need a shock mount because this mic is hypersensitive to everything. So, anyway, rabbit hole. I needed to make sure this wasn't a scam. So, I messaged Alex and I was like, hey, I just want to make sure this isn't a scam. So, can you tell me a little bit about your company? So, he told me that he runs a company called 3 Rock Agency, and they are a marketing e-commerce agency for businesses. And he helps his clients, like the client that I'm going to be reviewing today, get business by saying, hey, if you want to review this, and then we'll send you the product. And so that's what I did. I don't know. We'll see if I ever get paid back for this or not, but it's definitely, I bought it. So regardless of, they made money off of me, regardless of if they pay me for it or not. But either way, I'm pretty excited about it. I want to try it out, but I wanted to do a whole unboxing video in the podcast because I haven't done a podcast in a while. So, which I hope that everything works okay because I haven't done one in a while. Screen record. While I'm doing this, I will plug, just posted a gender reveal video. My wife and I did a gender reveal, which was pretty cool. I looked a lot hairier in that video. And yeah, I had this big beard and long hair and yeah, trimmed it all up. Got a new job. I just started working for a local college, Columbia College. I'm an academic advisor there, so that's freaking cool. Golf course was great, but it wasn't a good fit. I was kind of nervous, honestly. If they see this, I hope I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, or I hope they don't feel like that anyway, but they always talked about budgets and how we were running low on funds and how they were nervous about not having enough money and this course wasn't making enough money, and they talked about how little money they had a lot. And as the assistant superintendent, I did not feel comfortable working there knowing that everybody that's there is super concerned about money. So I decided to get out. I feel like it was the right call. Also, the position that I'm in now with the college, I am not driving 45 minutes to work every day, and I'm indoors, and with my wife being pregnant, it's going to be really nice knowing that I'm in the same town as her, and that I'm not having to drive almost an hour if, like, she goes into labor. Back to this. So, Shockmount. All right. Auphonix.com. Shockmount. Haven't opened it yet. I am nervous / excited. So they have the silver there, which is nice. And then I got the black option, which you'll find that if you go to look for it. But yeah, Auphonix. So whenever you Google Auphonix, because like I said, you got to do your research, man. You don't want to get all bamboozled, you know. You don't want to be the butt of somebody's joke, and they're like, this guy. But when you look up this company, they actually look pretty legit, and they've got a whole section about us that's pretty compelling. They're a family-owned business. Top goal is to provide you and our new customer with a 5-star experience. Blah blah blah. They didn't ask me to do any of this, by the way. I signed up for this, so anyway. So let's do this thing. Let's stop jibber-jabbering. Let's get this bad boy opened. Batman knife. Super pumped. I hope it works. So he did tell me there was a disclaimer that some of the certain year, I think, of Blue Yeti or certain type of Blue Yeti microphones have the wrong side of grooves in the bottom of them. So like how you can see on this, it's got, these are grooves right here. Well, the mic like screws on to those grooves, and he was saying that some of these don't fit in the grooves. So hopefully I did not get that one. This thing's legit. It's like metal. I didn't know what to expect. It comes in a really nice like plastic cutout. Looks like a key. That's cool. It's foam. Cool. Oh, they actually, okay, so they actually included a, sorry, my dogs are barking, but they actually included a disclaimer in the package as well that explains exactly what I just said. The Blue Yeti microphone on rare occasions has a manufacturing fault where the mount hole is the wrong size. If you're one of the unfortunate few who has a microphone with this issue, then the shock mount will not securely hold the microphone. And then they actually said we have a simple solution to this problem, so please visit. And then they have a whole website down at the bottom if you have that problem. So that's pretty cool. And they actually show the measurements. Just in case you don't believe them, they show that this is the good measurement and that's the bad measurement, which it's listed there. So I guess measure your hole, just in case. I guess if it's a 572, then it's good, but if it's a 604, then it's bad. So you 604s shafted. All right, so this is the shock mount. It feels really good. It's metal. It's solid. It's got a little piece of foam around this. So this spins freely, so you can screw it in. And then this part attaches onto the boom arm, which will be awesome, because I remember at one point in time saying that I needed one of these because you could hear every time I moved my boom arm. So this will be great because these rubber bands stabilize it and they absorb the sound. So when it's on the boom arm, which I hope this fits. Oh yeah, daddy. Then you will attach your microphone, however which way you want it, onto the end of it. We can go like this, and then when we attach the microphone onto it, it's going to be stable in here. So if I'm banging around on this, you might hear it a little bit, but it's not going to be near as bad as if it were to echo all the way through this big metal boom arm and then in straight to the microphone. So this is supposed to eliminate most of that sound. All right, so we got all this attached. That fit really well to that Zing U boom arm. So go Zing U. You did that right. No, your microphone probably works great. I just don't want to buy a whole kit to make it work. Anyway, watch that video if you don't know what I'm talking about. The Blue Yeti microphone here. All right, so I didn't measure it. Moment of truth. It fits. Ooh, ooh, baby, do you know what I'm... Dude, heck yes, brethren. freaking right, dude. It fits good. I shouldn't do that, but it fits. It fits really well. Man, I wish my boom arm was a little better. Hey, if anybody out there has a boom arm that they'd like for me to try, I'm doing reviews. So, I'm bigwig now. I'm a bigwig now. No, so it fits good. You can see that it's got a nice little, see the bounce? That's good. You can see it just kind of levitates. I just got goosebumps when I said levitate. Anyway, all right, so yeah, man, that's legit, dude. Go Auphonix. That's dope, and it fits really well into this Xingyu boom arm, which makes me assume that it's going to fit into well into a lot of boom arms, because the Xingyu is, I think that they gave you like the most basic boom arm that there is. And it's metal frame. And this, honestly, now, this kind of just looks like it all goes together. This is legit. I'm super into it. So, I'm going to switch over now to the Blue Yeti microphone. And we're going to do a few little tests to see what kind of sounds it picks up. So, let's do that now. All right. So, I got this all set up. I'm not using it yet. So, calm down. This is one of the things that is good to know for doing this. So when you're on a Mac, it's kind of tricky to figure out how to use this and this, because if you do it through iMovie, then it actually messes up a lot. The video gets really laggy no matter what you do. Because typically with iMovie, you have to do it while recording video. And so then the video gets super laggy, and it's really hard to edit. Because, it's very difficult to edit. Trust me. Because a lot of the times the video and the audio are going to be stuck together. So you're going to have to split those two, which I know I've done in a past video. But it doesn't mean it's easy. Because once you split the two, it's really easy to get them off, where you delete say you have the audio down here and the video up here, and then you cut this chunk of video. Well, you still have this chunk of audio, so this whole part of the video that hasn't been cut will slide over. Then you're all thrown off, because it'll look like you're filming like an old Godzilla movie. So you've got to be careful about cutting things. And if you cut this much, then you need to fill it with this much of like a screen recording or something like that. So you got to be very careful with doing it through iMovie. It's possible, but you got to be careful. Last couple of times I've done this, I have just used voice memos on the Mac. It works good. It works great, honestly. But to do that, you have to go into your settings or your system preferences. And then once you're there, you're not going to see any options for, mic, because, that's not a common thing. So you actually have to go to sound. And then here, it'll show you the two devices. So back to the screen, you're going to see input volume. I would do it right there. That's going to be perfect. So yeah, right there. And then like I said, I just use voice memos, and all you have to do once the Blue Yeti is plugged into the computer is click that, and then it's recording through the Blue Yeti microphone. The test that I'm going to run is I'm going to take a few things and I'm going to clink it against the boom arm, and then I'm going to hit it directly onto the microphone. So I'm sorry if your ears start to bleed, but it's necessary to make sure that this Shockmount is doing its job. Because if this were if this were put directly into the boom arm like it was before, it would just sound like I was just taking a hammer against it. But with it being connected into the Shockmount, it's got room to absorb sound. It's got a little bit of a buffer, so it's not going to pick up the sounds around it, which is good. That's a good thing. So, all right. So, I'm moving my mic right now, which I know you could probably hear it just a little bit. But this thing is like it used to pick up. I would have to wait to click and stuff because it would be so loud. I would have to put my mouse on where I was going to click and then like cut that part of the video and then click while I was in the video, but I couldn't move the mouse because the sound of the mouse moving around on the desk was just oh my gosh, it literally sounded like nails on a chalkboard with this mic. Excuse me. So you can kind of hear that. I'm hitting that pretty hard. I'm hitting the boom arm about like that. And it's only sounding like that. That's pretty good. Which I have a little bit of like a wrap on my boom arm that's like a cloth, like a bandana kind of thing to just kind of absorb some of the sound. That was my Shockmount. That's what I was using to try and absorb some of this. But now with this thing, it's not. I hit it a little too hard there. You can hear it. You can definitely hear it. But it's a significant difference. All right, now right on the mic. You see what I mean? That's great. Like, seriously, that's really good. It looks good. It sounds, let's do, okay. So I got a little pencil. I got a pencil here, okay? And this is what it sounds like on the desk. All right. On the boom arm. And now on the actual microphone. I'm not going to do that too many times because that is loud. It's almost like it's levitating in the air because the way that these rubber bands are is they're literally holding it in a suspension, in a suspended state, and it is helping a ton. So if you're going to start a podcast, I would say get a Shockmount from Auphonix. Hey. No, wherever, honestly. This one's working great and it fits my Blue Yeti. So if you like the Blue Yeti microphone and you like the way it sounds, then I would recommend that you get this one just because I've used it. I'm using it now and I'll be using it in the future. It was $25 on Amazon. It's a good deal. And they have Prime shipping, so it was here in like a day or two. So if you do get one and you want to leave a comment on the video and a review for them, that would be sweet. I don't know how many of you are going to do a podcast or whatever, but it's working really well for me. It's stable, it's working, it's floating, it's just like levitating here. It works well. Once you get it and you put it on, you're just like, yeah, this is something I should have had a while back. Random thing, actually. I do have one random thing to say. I don't know if I have an internal monologue. My wife and I have been on this big talk about it because she's like, you don't have one? She's like, her brain is constantly thinking. It's constantly working and there's constantly like conversation happening. And I don't have that. I don't know if I have an internal monologue, which is kind of strange because I didn't really know what she was talking about when she was like, you don't have an internal monologue? And I was like, I don't think I do. And she was like, I like constantly have a voice in my head. And I was like, that's weird. You're a crazy person. But I guess it's normal because now there's a ton of people that are saying that they have internal monologues. And that is weird to me. I don't understand it. When I think about things, I think about them mostly out loud. So if I'm, thinking like, ooh, what am I going to have for dinner tonight? I don't think that in my head. I have to like say it almost. Like I have to be like, what am I going to get tonight for dinner? And then I like raid my fridge and I'm like going through stuff and I'm like, I had that yesterday. Like I'm like mumbling things, but I don't do it in my head. And then like if I'm making dinner or something, I'm not really thinking about anything. Like I'm just cooking the food. Or like I'm looking at the recipe and I'm just kind of like just doing it. Like I'm not really thinking, man, I wonder if this is going to taste good. Like I don't have any of those thoughts in my head. I'm just doing it. So, but then there are times where like Like, I can stop right now and think in my brain, I don't know where I'm going with this. Let's see, watch. See, I just thought that. I don't know where I'm going with this. But I have to, like, stop and think about it, which is weird to me, that there are people that are just constantly doing that. How do you get anything done if your brain is just constantly, and you're just constantly talking? How do you get anything done? I would just sit for hours and just think to myself. But that's another thing, is we were talking about it, and I still daydream. Like, I still have, like if I get zoned out or whatever, and I just, like, zombie out into a wall or something, you know, I still daydream. I dream at night, and it's, like, video and images, and there's talking, and there's people and stuff, but, like, I don't know, man. During the day, I very rarely think in my head. If I'm thinking, I'm like, I'm gonna do this. That's why I was gonna start a podcast, is because 80% of the time that I'm sitting here doing stuff, I'm thinking out loud anyway. And so I was like, man, if I'm trying to figure out how to do a podcast, I'm going to be talking out loud. So I might as well just record it and then upload it to YouTube. So if anybody else is trying to do a podcast, they can just watch me lose my mind instead of trying to lose their mind on their own. So that's what I started initially. That's how my thought process was. We're finding stuff out about each other that we never even thought to think about each other. If that makes sense. It just makes me sit here and go, what? You think everything in your brain. You never talk out loud. Which she said that she does. She said that she does sometimes, like, vocalize what she's doing, but for the most part, it's all just happening in her brain, which is insane to me. I've got to say it. I've got to say what I'm thinking. I got to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to do this, and then I got to do this, and then I'm going to do this. And I have to, like, speak it, and then I just do it. But while I'm doing those actions, I don't have any sort of real thoughts going on in my head. Or, like, if I'm playing Xbox, I'm not really, like, thinking about what I'm going to do next. Every now and then, I'll say something along the lines of, ooh, I need to go do this. And then I'll go do it. But I don't think it. I physically say, I need to go do this. Am I, like... I thought that's how everybody's brain worked. I might be jumping in at the end of this whole debate, this whole conversation, but either way, I've trailed for a solid 10 minutes about this, so I'm going to shut up, but it's something to think about. Ask your partner or your spouse or whoever, be like, hey, are you thinking in your brain right now? And see what they say, because I'm not. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up. Auphonix, good product. Very good product. I am impressed. I honestly didn't know what to think. I thought it was all scam. I was like, I'm going to order this, and then I'm going to blah, 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 and they're not going to send me anything, and I just spent $25. This is what the box looks like when you get it. It's pretty sweet. It says on here, this was another thing. Do not be discouraged. It says, for blue snowball microphone on the box. You can see that. That is not true, because this is not the blue snowball. This is the blue Yeti. So if you get this and you see that, you're going to be like me, and you're going to be like, what? Oh, this isn't going to work. It does. So do not discourage. Check it out. If you like it, sweet. Come back to the video and let me know. And if you don't like it, then tell them. I don't want to hear about it. So that being said, we'll wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Black Coffee Podcast. I'll see y'all later. Chicka chicka.